There is a small ritual almost everyone online now performs. You type your password, and then the site asks for one more thing, a short code, usually 6 digits, sent to your phone or pulled from an app. You type it in, and the door opens. And in that moment, the code feels like a vault, a second lock that makes your account genuinely safe. Here is the uncomfortable truth the people who defend these systems have known for years. That code, on a bad day, is one of the weakest links in your entire security, not one of the strongest. It does a real job, but it does a much smaller job than most people believe. That is what this video is about. Why the one-time code was a clever idea, where it quietly fails, and why the people guarding your accounts have been steadily moving past it. This is an explanation of a weakness and its defenses, not a guide to anything. The promise of the code. Start with the idea, because it is a good one. A password is something you know, and the trouble with things you know is that they can be guessed, leaked, or tricked out of you. So the second factor adds something you have, your phone. The logic is that even if a thief learns your password, they would also need physical possession of your device to get the code, and the thief on the other side of the world usually does not. For years, this raised the bar enormously. It turned account takeover from a quiet, remote, automated thing into something that required getting at your actual phone. That was a genuine leap, and it stopped an enormous amount of harm. The code earned its place. The two flavors, but not all codes are the same, and the difference matters more than almost anyone realizes. The older flavor is the code sent to you, typically as a text message to your phone number. The newer flavor is the code generated on your device by an app, a number that changes every 30 seconds and is never sent anywhere. They look identical to the user, 6 digits typed into a box. Underneath, they are worlds apart in how exposed they are. The texted code travels across systems you do not control to reach you. The app code is computed quietly on your own device from a shared secret setup once. Understanding why that distinction matters is the whole heart of this. With contentivo bitamieter. The weakness of the texted code was never about the math. The 6 digits are fine. The weakness is the channel they travel through. A phone number is not the solid, permanent thing people imagine. It is an account with a provider, and like any account, it can be subject to social engineering, mistakes, and the simple fact that the message passes through infrastructure neither you nor the bank fully controls. The defenders understood early that delivering a security code over a channel built decades ago for casual messaging was a compromise, convenient but soft. The code itself was sound. The road it traveled to reach you was the problem, and you cannot make a code stronger than the weakest road it has to cross. Why a phone number is not an anchor? It is worth pausing on why the texted code is soft, because the reason is something people rarely think about. Most of us treat a phone number as if it were a permanent part of us, as solid as a fingerprint. It is not. It is an account held with a carrier, and accounts can be moved, recovered, and reassigned through human processes designed for ordinary, honest situations like losing a phone or switching providers. Those same helpful processes are exactly the soft spot, because anything that can move a number to a new device for a legitimate reason is a process that, if abused, points the code somewhere they should not go. The defenders responded not by trusting people to be careful, but by treating the phone number as a weak anchor and refusing to let it carry the whole weight of an account's security. The lesson is general. If recovery is easy, the thing being recovered is only ever as strong as the recovery. The trick that works on any code, now the deeper issue, and the one that affects even the good app codes. Picture the classic fake page attack we have talked about before, but upgraded. A person is lured to a convincing copy of their bank's login. They enter their password, and then the fake page asks for the one-time code, just as the real site would. The victim, seeing exactly what they expect to see, reads the fresh code off their phone and types it in. And in that moment, whoever is behind the fake page can relay it onward to the real site before it expires. Notice what happened. The code did its job perfectly. It proved the person had the phone. It just proved it to the wrong party who passed the proof along. This is the defensive insight that reshaped the field. A code can be genuine and still be handed to the wrong door. Why a relay beats a code but not a passkey? And here is the elegant reason this same trick fails against the newer passkeys we covered recently. A one-time code is just a number. It does not know which site it is being typed into, so it can be read off and relayed anywhere. A passkey is bound to the real site's address and checks who is actually asking before it ever responds, so a relay to a fake page simply does not work. That single difference, a code that travels blind versus a proof that verifies its destination, is exactly why defenders have been steadily moving from the first toward the second. The code was the best portable idea available for a long time, but it carries an inherent blindness that a determined fake page can exploit. The fatigue problem. There is a softer human weakness too, and it deserves naming because it is so ordinary. Some systems, instead of a typed code, send a simple approve or deny prompt to your phone. Tap approve and you are in. Convenient, until someone who already has your password starts triggering those prompts over and over. The phone buzzes again and again, late at night, relentlessly, and eventually a tired or confused person taps approve just to make it stop. The security held, technically. The human gave way. Defenders learned that any system relying on a person to make the right call under repeated pressure will eventually meet a person who is too tired to. The better designs add context, show where the request is coming from, and refuse to let a flood of prompts wear someone down. What the code really proves. So let us be precise about what a one-time code actually establishes, because the precision is the whole point. It proves that, at that moment, someone had access to the second factor. That is all. It does not prove that person meant to log in, or that they understood what they were approving, or that the site asking was the real one. It proves possession, not intent, and not context. Once you see that gap clearly, every one of the weaknesses makes sense. The fake page exploits the missing context. The fatigue attack exploits the missing intent. The channel weakness exploits the soft road. The code answers one narrow question honestly, and trouble comes entirely from assuming it answered a bigger one. How banks layer signals on top. This is exactly why the institutions that take this seriously, banks especially, never rest the whole decision on the code. The code is one input among many. Behind the scenes, they are also asking, is this the device this person normally uses? Does the location agree with their pattern? Is the behavior, the timing, the rhythm of the session consistent with this account? Did they just appear in an implausible place a moment after being somewhere else? The code might say possession confirmed, but the surrounding signals quietly ask, does this whole story actually hang together? A correct code on a strange device, in a strange place, behaving strangely, can still raise the alarm. The defense is in the weave of signals, not the single thread of the code. Why defenders shifted to bound credentials? Put all of this together, and you can see exactly why the direction of travel is away from the shared code entirely. Every weakness traces back to the same root. The code is portable and blind. It can be read aloud, relayed, fished, delivered over a soft channel because it is just a number with no awareness of where it belongs. The fix is not a better number. It is a credential that is bound to its rightful destination and never leaves your device, which is precisely what the modern passkey provides. Defenders did not abandon the code because it was useless. They moved past it because its core idea, a secret you read and retype, carries a blindness that no amount of polish can remove. The future is a proof that cannot be handed to the wrong door. The defender is not helpless and in fact holds a deep advantage, the same one this channel keeps finding. The attacker trying to misuse a code has to win a narrow, fragile race, relaying a number before it expires, or wearing someone down with prompts, or abusing a recovery process, and they have to do it without tripping any of the surrounding alarms. The defender, meanwhile, watches millions of genuine logins every day and knows exactly what normal looks like. They see the device, the place, the rhythm, the history, so even when a code is captured and replayed, the strangeness around it, the unfamiliar device, the impossible jump in location, the behavior that does not fit, gives the game away. The code was never meant to be the whole defense. It is one tripwire in a room full of them, and the attacker has to cross the room without touching a single one. The user-side defenses that actually help. So what does this mean for an ordinary person, framed as protection rather than anything else? First, an app-generated code is meaningfully safer than a texted one, because it removes the soft delivery channel entirely. Second, a passkey, where it is offered, is stronger still, because it cannot be relayed to a fake page at all. Third, and this is the one that costs nothing, Treat any code as a thing you give only to a site you navigated to yourself, never one you arrived at from a link in a message, and treat a flood of approval prompts you did not start as an alarm, not an annoyance. These are not tricks. They are simply understanding what the code can and cannot do and refusing to hand your proof to the wrong door. Precedents endida, Wehan kanat nantanjitupi. The one-time code was a bridge, a clever, portable, good enough idea that protected a great many people for a great many years. And it still does real work today, but it was always a compromise, a secret you read off a screen and typed into another, blind to where it was really going. The quiet story under every modern login box is the slow replacement of that blind portable secret with something bound, local and aware of its destinations. The people defending your accounts are not panicking about the code. They are calmly, deliberately retiring it, the way you retire a lock that served well but was never quite as strong as the door deserved. Understanding that is not about beating anything, it is about seeing the upgrade happening, quietly under a box you fill in without a second thought. If this is the kind of thing you find yourself thinking about, the quiet machinery under the everyday internet, then this channel is your sort of place. There is no product to sell you here, it is just the systems taken apart and explained by someone who has spent a long time on the inside of them. Subscribe and follow the rabbit hole. Next time, we are going to step back to the very edge of the network, to the checkpoint your requests pass through long before they ever reach the website you are trying to visit. How that invisible wall decides, in a fraction of a second, whether to let your traffic through or quietly turn it away, and why most people never knew it was there at all.